And they've always told me that homework pays off. Astralis pulling Vertigo into the veto of what is the most hotly anticipated match of the StarLadder Berlin Major so far, a quarterfinal no less. Vertigo is pulled out. I'm joined by Chance Sponge Birchall, closest to me, Duncan Thorin Shields, and Sean Gares. Guys, let's break this one down. Astralis have made quite the statement in their opening map.
They were definitely prepared, weren't they?
Certainly.
Look, I didn't even look at who had the most kills or where any of that damage was coming from. I was just geeking out on all the stuff we were seeing. We saw Astralis evolve. They were doing some fantastic nades together, right? Clearing out corners. Obviously, the run boost with Dupreeh, that got everybody in here, shouting about that one. But they were so well prepared for this map and playing off of each other, and they weren't afraid to take fights. Coming into this, I haven't seen Astralis look this confident in a while.
I think Device just wrote the book on how to op around the A-bomb site, both T and CT side, right? He was 4-0 in opening duels. He won them that eco round towards the A-bomb site to start the match. That's what kicked off their T side. This was a vintage Device performance.
Pretty much the game-winning play at the end behind the sandbags.
The sandbags, yeah, exactly. That was ridiculous.
And that's ridiculous.
Jason was wise as well. He was like, hang on, Device realized that they were throwing mollies at him early, so sandbags suddenly became all the more appealing.
Look, I want to give props to Valve here because all they did was adjust timings, right? Maybe they changed a few things around bomb sites, but they adjusted some timings, and that has allowed this to be a transitional defense map like an Overpass. The CTs can go forward, they can take fights, they can expend utility, and then they can drop back and play the layers of the map. So they've fixed this, and I'm loving it, Vertigo.
Listen, I'll hold my hands up on this one. When I saw the Vertigo pick, that to me was like desperation. It's like, let's just throw everything up in the air, see what happens. No, they clearly have done their homework, and they have innovated again. This is Astralis at their best because they had every little trick that they only needed once each time. And then you just look at the difference. The first half looked like it was going to be a great game, right? 30 rounds possibly, really evenly matched. But when did you ever see Team Liquid flanking them? When did you ever see Team Liquid pressure them? Astralis had forever on the ramp. When Team Liquid tried to follow the same suit, they were going to take their time to go in the side. They were going to take the aim duels. They never got any. They were getting flanked, pressured. Dupreeh did an amazing job in this game. He's back.
The meta of this map, right, it started out with before these most recent updates came in, it was just bomb site executes. All we saw was A execute after A execute. Then we saw a little bit of people leaning towards B. But the key to this map for me is mid and that ladder room. We saw Magus, when he flanked and got that triple kill, that was the nail in the coffin. Once that's open, once that avenue, it's not protected, it's not defended, you could see them attempt to exploit it. Again, yeah, sure, Elige sits in the forklift room and he covers the flank. But that's one player. They've literally just playing, what are they playing? Wingman, just hitting one bomb site? Mid is key, and I think as we move forward and we see more Vertigo, that will be the default. Teams will be clearing that, they're getting ladder room, they'll be getting the toolbox control, and that's how I think Vertigo will establish itself.
But that's something that I've heard you talk a lot about, about Vertigo, about the influence of mid, but seeing Liquid try and do it, they just got locked out. Just could just hold that ladder room solo.
I think Liquid was very one-dimensional in this game. I mean, they clearly showed they didn't really have what it takes to hit the B bomb site. Astralis came into this game with a game plan, right? Like, they really spread their hits apart. They showed that they weren't afraid to go B late round. I mean, that was a miracle round. I'm not going to lie. Now falling off the map. but nonetheless, they did show that they were willing to go B.
Yeah, the key thing for me was it wasn't like the fragging was terrible on Team Liquid side. Elige had a great game within the context of the first half, certainly. The guy I feel most sorry for, Stewie2K, that was just like running into a brick wall over and over again. Like, what's he supposed to do there? He's not a miracle worker. He can't watch every angle.
Yeah, he did get kind of locked out, but that's credit to Astralis. My question now does take us towards Overpass. We just had the stats on our screens, gentlemen, so strap yourselves in. I want to see Inferno. How realistic of a goal is that? I think we can start with you, Chad.
Look, coming into this, I had Liquid as the favorite, right? Because I thought they'd find that confidence back. It's not that I think that they're playing poorly individually. I think they just got completely out-game planned, out-stratted, out-thought in that match. Okay. Now that we go to Overpass, it has been their bread and butter. And I want to believe that they can come back here and they're going to do the same thing with their T-side. They're going to kick off in a very strong way. I'm with hope and a prayer here because this whole series to me is a coin flip. I'm going to be thinking Liquid have a chance to get back in the series and take us all the way.
So certainly a chance.
I do think that Astralis got a bit lucky the last time they played them on Overpass, but Elige plays so aggressive on this map, right? They are live and die by Elige. He's the first one going up on T side, clearing the toilets. On CT side, he's aggressive, solo pushing along A. Astralis is definitely going to be ready for that. And they also know that Stewie is in that connector all by himself. They know the tells of Liquid. This is a map we've seen Liquid play dozens of times throughout this run.
I asked a dumb trivia question to Naf, actually. I asked him what's his favorite position on any map, and he says he likes being that lurk on T-side Overpass. It's his favorite place to be, and he will having to be performing in that role if they want to see the third match.
Just as when Astralis had their era, if they lost a map, they could always go to their home map. It was Inferno, it was Nuke, whatever their pick was, they knew they were going to win that. It was going to be 3 at a minimum. So if you're Team Liquid, and if you're one of the people who thinks this is the Team Liquid era, this is exactly where you want to be right now. This is one of the home maps that you've established. You'd arguably be the best team in the world on this map right now, a better team than Astralis. So if you really are the better team than Astralis, you win this map right now, we go to 3.
Yeah, I'm with that. And I think one of the bigger problems for them right now, it's one that we always touched on previously with Liquid, was they don't have a primary AWPer per se. Now, Stewie's been picking up more of that duties on certain maps, and Nitro on the CT side of Overpass, he's normally very proficient at that. But the biggest problem right now, and we already touched about it, is Device. He did a fantastic job AWPing right there on Vertigo. If he's feeling it, and he's going to move around the map like he used to on Overpass, that spells trouble for this Liquid roster, because right now, Astralis, they get to be the team to do whatever they want.
I will say this, Liquid has the strongest A default and Overpass in the game right now. And what I'm worried about if I'm Astralis is that passive setup. They love to fall back into the site and just play super passively with Device and Dupreeh. And I think Liquid is going to exec all over them if they do that.
Didn't last time we see these two teams play, it just ended up to be just constant B hits after B hits. I remember there was a game not long ago, it was definitely one of these teams, and that's all they lent towards.
So that's the only way Astralis won that game, actually. The only 2 rounds they got were these crazy B rushes. Nothing else worked for them.
Interesting, and that's something that surely Liquid, coming into this, they knew that the Overpass would be a strong tool in their arsenal. They will be ready for what Astralis have got on Overpass. And speaking of what Astralis have got, both of these teams have got strategies named after them, nades that every team now throws on Overpass alone. We really are going to get a treat of Counter-Strike.
And again, I'll bring up the same point I said at the end of the last one. I don't really blame Stu2K too much for the T-side of Vertigo. Not a lot he could do in most scenarios. This is a map where he could have incredible impact for this team. Yeah. If he can get that T-side going, that's what opens this game up for them. Then you've got the big people like Elige and NAF coming in, and those guys close rounds out.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I mean, if the fans are getting lucky, perhaps Team Liquid will too. We'll see.
I mean, they are playing a real map now.
Okay.
Wait, didn't you predict Astralis?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's just having some fun.
I actually love Vertigo.
It does seem like it's converting people slowly but surely. I mean, getting to see what Astralis brought to the table, there's so much more to unearth regarding Vertigo, but Overpass, much more solved, much more rigid, and we know we're going to get to see some of that Nitro AWPing flair as well.
Yeah, well, hopefully that they get
crossed.
to settle into that. They're going to need, I think, a very... I'm thinking that Liquid on this T-half are probably going to need at least 6 rounds in my mind, because their CT side is probably easier to figure out. I want them to start with that, you know, aggressive style that they know they can have and really snowball from that. There was one game I remember they played it when Adren first came into the coaching and they went very slow, indecisive in the mid-rounds. I don't want to see that coming in here, because this is do or die. The pressure's on both teams, that's for sure. And Liquid so far, maybe they're doubting themselves. Maybe they didn't get that confidence that I was hoping they'd find when they stepped into the arena.
If you are Liquid, though, you have 2 of your best maps remaining in the series. The first one, you can even kind of consign it to the dustbin and say, we had no clue they were going to do that, who knew they'd practiced on it, etc. We weren't prepared for it, certainly. So again, if you are the best team, there's no reason whatsoever to be panicking right now. Listen, if you get halfway through this game and you're down, you start to think about it a little bit. But the best team in the world, the team that hasn't lost in 25 best of X series, they win this map, they go to 3, and at that point, you reset completely.
Yeah, perfect. I'm so glad you mentioned it as well, because at some point in this series, one record will fail to be added to. Astralis, in pursuit of their major consecutive run, I mean, this would be the 3 majors back-to-back, which hasn't been done before, of course, 4th in total for Liquid. 25 best-of-3 or best-of-5 series undefeated. Astralis 1 away from breaking that record. They are no stranger to having records broken, in fact, losing their Nuke one not too long ago.
Yeah, and I mean, Liquid is going to kick off on the T side, and I can't stress this enough. This is all on Elige. The entry fragger for Liquid, the top performer on their team is the first one into the bomb sites. That is so rare. So it's literally on his shoulders right now. Can he step up?
Elige, all eyes on him. Device is dynamic AWPing. It's time to see Astralis and Liquid clash again. The second map is Overpass. Liquid's pick. Vertigo went the way of the Danes, and the Great Danes, 1 away from getting themselves a ticket to the semi-finals, breaking 25 undefeated series from Liquid. They are now just 1 map away, and so are we. We're going to throw over to your casters, Anders Bloom and Jason Moses O'Toole.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready, Berlin? Well, let's get this game underway. Second map coming up. It's between Astralis and Team Liquid. This is the quarterfinals of the Counter-Strike Berlin StarLadder Major. And so far, Astralis are an entire map ahead, and Liquid will have to make up for it here on their own home map of Overpass, and it's going to be very exciting. They're starting on the T-side. Astralis, they are not bad on this map either. This could be an absolute war.
I think if you're Team Liquid after that first map, the conversation coming out has got to be, it's got to be that stereotypical Hollywood movie, Are You Pissed Yet? Because that opening map was such a wash. They weren't even in it. And that has got to be something annoying that they have to deal with coming into Overpass here. Just one map from elimination, and Device, a lot of early peaks for Intel.
As you bring that up, some of these players historically on Team Liquid, you don't want to piss off. You get Stewie annoyed, you get Naf annoyed, that'll end badly. This
is the two players with utility for Team Liquid. Magisk can actually ruin everything, and that headshot is so important. He's forced back very early. Oh, Stewie wants to hunt him down, and he's got him. You like that aggression out of Stewie to start the map. Opening kill the way of Liquid.
That is exactly the attitude that we like to see out of Stewie, and what makes him such a lethal player. Very hard. I mean, his style, it could either be great, but you could see how it could be hard as well on a map like Vertigo, where everything is happening, you know, like the interval between all of the sequences is so small, right? So, you know, you miss one step, and you never get that whole rhythm flowing. Now they're setting up for an execute, probably going to be smoking off the sniper spot. Close smoke there for Astralis to try and preempt it a little bit, with only 25 seconds.
Look at the rotation on the map. All four players from Astralis are here. This defense is so strong. Are they going to be ready? Twist with an opening kill into the site. Coming through the smoke is one more into Liege. It was all on his shoulders, Sean said. He's got one, and Zipnik's still staying alive.
They're doing a great job. There's Twist with another headshot, and they're going to shut them down all the way. Twist with a triple. That worked out so well. In spite of the rotation, in spite of the read, Liquid just outgunning Astralis in this round.
That is a way to win a pistol round, right into the stack. Everything Astralis could have hoped for, they had.
Well, that Liquid cheering section down there is starting to really come alive. Maybe that's what was missing all along on the first map. Get those guys fired up.
They didn't have a whole lot to cheer about in the first map.
Also true.
Double scout setup for Astralis. Upgraded pistols surround them as well. Slow take of the stairs, and Magisk is right next to the door, waiting for his moment. He's got it in a great spin. Stewie finds the kill. An advantage, Team Liquid.
Couple of scouts, couple of deagles. Great if you can do the damage. If you could chip away at them long range, fall back to the next corner, chip away a little bit more. That's how it plays out in a perfect world, but as we all know, we're not living in such a place. Now they're going to be slowly falling back. They did get a little bit of damage in action. Now it's starting to slowly stack up. Sip is down there with the other scout, and he has an HE grenade. With a little bit of luck, if he get one shot in, maybe a grenade down to the tunnel, they're going to make a little bit of noise coming through. There's the shot, and now the grenade out, and they're going to run right into it. That's such a good nade, and he gets the next one as well. Naf down to 21. That's about as much damage you could ask for, but it might still not be enough.
What a disgusting sequence from Zip there with the scout. That is well played. Oh, great shot from Device as well. And actually, Naf is so low, and you can see he just dropped off the sandbags. This could be a problem. Astralis might go for this, or they could just set up at the exit points and take everything from Liquid even into victory.
Yeah, King Glaive is going to be the man to sort of try and see if he can steal one more thing away from them. Does see him right under the smoke on the bomb site. That's a blind shot, must be. Nitro, oh, there's Dupreeh coming in from the other side. Now it's just a 2-on-2, but Naf has been hiding in the smoke the whole time, and I don't think they have quite enough time now for the defuse. They're going to get the kill, but Dupreeh will have to back on out. That's a very, very expensive round for Liquid, but they'll win it.
That is such an expensive round, but I mean, on the other side of the coin, if you're Astralis, you also have to think about what you want to do. Do you want to reinvest into this knowing you took all 5 guns away? How conservative do you want to play it? I think they're going to just sit it out. They don't really have the money for a whole lot of utility behind any rifles they would even try and get. But that is a very good round in terms of limiting the way that Liquid's economy can grow in the early stages.
They could make up for it in this round slightly, Liquid, if they only lose one person more or less here, then at least Something is still working out. Dangerous if they keep losing more. Triple stack going to be looking over the wall. You could do that. The timing is good for a Device. Setting himself up in the corner. Long range. He does get one. That P250 is good for it. Magus on the other side. This is a disaster right now for Liquid. They can't lose these guns. They need everybody to stay alive. And so far, already 2 have gone down. And these pistols from Astralis are looking lethal right now.
How does this MAC-10 get into play? Sees one more far back Molotov to contain him. Headshot from Stewie. Checking the flank, and yeah, even though the stack does its work, so much damage coming out, and Twist is even very low. Glaive can do this. A little bit of luck, and that bomb is so exposed that Twist is gonna have to come out into the open. But he's actually gonna wait for Stewie.
Yeah.
Who's gonna get aggressive, and actually, no, he's not. Just gonna end it right there, but 2 very good rounds from Astralis in the second and third. Scouts and upgraded pistols give Astralis a small victory despite being down 0-3.
The 5th kiss cam we've had. I'm really warming up here. Got a lot happening in Berlin. 4th round. Orp on Device. A lot less love between the 2 teams, you could say.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine. Flashbang right in Device's face. Oh, he gets caught on the bench. That could be an issue, but clears up and no one was hyper aggressive, and except for Glaive and Magisk, who push out of Monster. Nice flash assist from far away. And if Astralis can win this round, they take everything out of the hands. It'd be back to pistols for the Liquid offense very early on, and they're gonna go right into the AWP.
Orp with Dupreeh at the corner. Smoke to try and block it out. Device gonna push through. Actually, that does reveal the AWP. He goes down, even though he's trying to escape. And Elige with 2 big entries. Even if they took a lot of damage there, that's still quite impressive.
Elige actually just spammed that smoke, I believe, and just found a Device who wanted to try and help his teammate. An awkward setup that gets busted very quickly. Double kill for Elige. And now with 3-on-3, but because of the aggression early on, because the defense pushed out of Monster, Glaive has such an advanced position. Astralis can stack 2 players at A and not even worry about B for the moment until Glaive has the intel.
A lot of time. That position for Glaive, you're right, is hugely important at the moment. And if they go back, it's very hard to check that corner. I mean, especially if you're low on time, you tend to sort of almost just jump over the railing down there. It looks like they will commit to the A side, which is not a bad idea. Oh no, look at that smoke. It got caught by the rail. It's meant to go towards the bank instead. That means there's a bit of a gap, but they'll still take down Magus. That's something at least. Glaive quick with the flank, and he's not going to be able to hit the shot. 18 seconds, and now it's all on Sip. The clutch minister himself, but he's already been found out, down to 15 health, and I don't think that's going to be quite enough as a stunning headshot to take down Twist, but still, they should be able to back on out, and as soon as they get behind these walls, he's going to have to spend all day finding them.
Yeah, I don't think he can do this. No utility as well. No kit. He'd have to just stick it unless he can pick one up. Might want to try and think about grabbing the AWP and just bailing out, but he's more and more committed. 15 health, and I think he's just now starting to realize, tapping the bomb and backing away. Stewie doesn't want to let him go. You can see Stewie instantly trying to inch into some aggression to peek. The Liquid's going to get their 4th. After going down 1 player in the first 20 seconds of the round, Liquid recover and have a 4-0 lead on offense.
It might at some point be worth discussing whether or not grenades should be able to be caught by the train tracks there, because that actually can have a large impact on the round, and it's obviously sort of obscure.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Smoke be damned. Glaive missed an opportunity for a huge flank kill. That's a kill that he has to get.
Yeah, definitely. No, but I mean that smoke, if anything, would have worked against Liquid. So, you know, the fact that Glaive also missed it is just even, you know, a little bit of a
icing on the cake.
grace. Yeah, it is. Well, 4-0, and now moving into round number 5. What a great start for Liquid. Even if it's been rough in some of these rounds, they're powering through. That's what they needed to do. Given the loss there on Vertigo, which was pretty shocking, it's nice to see them really step it up here.
Dupreeh's been spotted. Stewie down below, but actually Twist just ignores the left, and he gets tagged up so heavily. That is not a great piece of damage to take early on. Molotov splits up these defenders, forces Dupreeh into the open. They still haven't been able to find him. Alicia's gonna clear out. I think he knows. He eventually does finish him off, but Glaive through the smoke finds Stewie, and another one! How has he done it? Oh my God, Dupreeh! That is a savage sequence from Glaive, and Nitro has to recover, but what can you do? How do you pick up these pieces?
How did he get that second kill? He's just backing off with the deagle and took his face right off. Now, Nitro. 50 seconds. I think that's the only thing that could make this possible, is the time that's left. He could spend 10 seconds on each fight, maybe still make it to the bomb site, but now that they've slowed it down and they're not giving the fights, how do you do it then? This is wild.
I cannot believe that he just did that. That's so incredible. Nitro not even able to find the flank, had the right idea. But the captain for Astralis getting them their first round on the board in magnificent fashion.
Truly the difference between being a boss and being a leader, isn't it? Saying, listen guys, show you how it's done right here. This first one is great. The second kill is outrageous, and obviously, I don't even know. Look, he doesn't even know either, does he?
I don't think he cares.
Shock.
Yeah. Timeout for Team Liquid. Out of money, and that's a shocking turn of events, but it was just a matter of time with the way those rounds have been going. Remember, second round Astralis with 2 scouts and upgraded pistols, eliminated all 5 Liquid players in a loss. Third round, I think they got, what, 4? Even in a loss, and now finally they convert one.
The SIP was that was a 1 versus 2 where they escaped, right? So even that round, they lost 3 players. So it has been expensive, and it shows for the buy here for the American side. 6th round beginning now. 120,000 people watching, Moses. How do you feel about that?
I love it. There could be more. We'll get them there. We'll get the rest. Elige with the Krieg. They've got to be fast. They've got to be through the smoke, and they must trade this. They don't have the utility. Another nade comes in, and Liquid has taken so much damage trying to find that kill. Nitro is dead. Twist down to 18, and Liquid barely have anything to show for it.
With this kind of a buy and that kind of aggression, you do actually need one of those early kills to destabilize the defense. Now instead, Astralis are going to be fine with it. Mega slow on health, you give him the AWP and just let him chill somewhere. And the defense is almost entirely intact here for the CT side. Dupreeh forward in that corner. Mage's going to be taking away most of the attention, hopefully, with that AWP. And then, question is, do they forget about that corner? Do they not check it? He's actually in a bit of an off angle. I thought he was further in towards the corner, but this could still be dangerous.
Here we go, Dupreeh, they do check it. Stewie down to 1 HP. It's just a matter of time, but it's the AWP he's up against, and he's gonna be hyper aggressive with no health. Why not risk it? He's cleared out, he's opened up the bomb site for his team. Device ready and waiting, but he needs Glaive to come in for the flank. A second chance for Glaive to stop this plant, and he might just be able to do it. He's won the fight on Elige.
Yeah, Elige was actually covering for that, and he put Glaive down to 7 health. If he wins that fight, I think Liquid win the round now. That is not so clear anymore. Stewie's picked up an AWP with 1 health. That might be a genius move. He's great with it. Turns around with a flashbang, but Dupreeh slightly overpeaking it. And now it's on Neff instead with a Galil in a 1 versus 3. He picks up the first one, but they found him out. He has no armor. How do you possibly win this fight? You're just gonna have to apply time here. And Neff is gonna get overrun. They don't have a kit, but they should have enough time for it. Although they have a kit on device, I guess, so they could have done it either way. That is very scary for Astralis. I think if they get Glaive, and they almost did, that's probably their round.
Yeah, they have a chance, or Naf can at least maybe find some cover and see what happens from there. Either way, good defense for Astralis on the retake, recovering from losing the bomb site entirely.
He clutched it at the end, but it was close.
Yeah, it could have been a disaster.
Could have been. 8-4. 8-4, what am I saying? 7th round, 4-2. I'm getting way ahead of myself, Moses. I'm so excited. Eagles, one of them, and then some P250s in play. But Liquid, this is strange. You get that 4-round win, and you sort of wish you had more economy to show for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Astralis, as we mentioned a couple times, they did such a good job of just continuously taking money away and ensuring that Liquid couldn't build up any kind of a buffer. There was no like grace period for Liquid where they, you know, had at least one more buy behind a loss. Very well done. Bare bones utility for the attack. And here we go. Device opening kill with the AWP. Safely into cover, shooting at long range. He's got his teammates here to keep space, but a couple uncharacteristic misses. It just won't matter. And again, this time it's Magisk. There has been, in these first 7 rounds, there have been 3 flanks up that staircase to the A bomb site. And if you go back to Vertigo, the amount of flanks that we saw there,
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to ask Astralis why they seem to be so heavy on those flanks. Did they notice something that they were available against Team Liquid?
What were some of those games that we saw? That was against Crazy, wasn't it? In the group stage where they also had some really aggressive flanks, Astralis. So maybe that is something that they've just generally added to the game, a little spice. Seems to be working out well. I assume that was just because Crazy really were crazy. And they had to sort of almost adapt to that style, but maybe they learned something in that. Twist very quick. Oh my lord! No. That's not possible, is it? Nobody's that clean.
Well, there's two players in. It falls on Stewie. He's got to try and recover this. He's going to step in front of the smoke. He wants to challenge. That must be a one flight, but Dupreeh drops down. The change and verticality, I think, was confusing. Liquid might want to take a timeout after this because, again, they cannot let this. They cannot let Astralis run away with this.
That just looks so smooth, didn't it? Dupreeh. Sort of a little bit of almost artwork, wasn't it? Taking care of two minimal amount of bullets. Nitro and Naf at a 2-on-5. Again, I mean, if they can't take any guns away here, Astralis are about to have the opposite problem of what Liquid are having. They just can't buy enough mattresses to stash the cash anywhere. They're going to be really rich. Nitro with a nice attempt. I mean, it's a good idea to try and preempt it, but it's a quad kill instead for Dupreeh. I kind of want to see that replay of how that worked out, because that was nuts.
Well, they blew the door open as well, which I would imagine if you're the Liquid players, here's your replay. That's pretty sick. They line up for him in a very beautiful fashion. But when that door blows open, I guess if you're one of the attackers, you're probably thinking it's for, you know, some kind of an op, some kind of peek into the door, which you normally see. This time, I mean, it just works out that Dupreeh from behind is able to do it.
Good job, guys. We've got all the kiss cams now. We might be setting records. Anyone ever been keeping track of kiss cams at majors? I doubt it. Peter from HLTV falling a little bit behind now. 9th round. Deagles in play, 3 of them. A couple of P250s, a lot of flashbangs. They need something right now, Liquid. Oh, and that's it.
Here's
I think the desk mentioned it, Naf with that Deagle.
Here's another flank, though, and Naf is going to have all his eyes forward this whole time. He's never going to consider it. And Device, this is an easy one for him, tracking the whole way. Nice opening, but now I think everything is pretty much closed for them. 3 flashbangs to work with, and an AWP, so hold the phone. Nitro can make this work. 1 kill into this B bomb site.
Maybe boost over the wall down there if you get another player in, if you can sneak in a kill, but again...
Oh my god, the timing. Nitro's coming up the ladder.
Yeah, flank within a flank. This is now very tricky. It's just a question of timing. Device is going to find that bomb, and I think whatever chance they had probably goes away with that, even if Nitro can sneak in behind. There's Glaive taking out Stewie from the other side, and Nitro, I don't even know if you can really do a lot here. Saving the AWP would be great. Going to get the shot on Device, picking up the bomb. 35 seconds. I mean, is there any way at all? He's going to be jumping down. Had the right idea, in fact. Glaive not showing himself. Now 25 seconds. He has no idea. For all he knows, there could be another flank, so even falling back to save might not make sense, even though we can tell that maybe it would be possible. 17 seconds, right at that corner. Wants to crouch in, wants to do some more damage, anything at all, but nothing is afforded to him. Instead, it's Makers to take him down. And really become a theme now for the Danish side with those flanks, isn't it?
Liquid don't have an answer yet. 4 to 5. 5 in a row for the Danes. Device leading the way at 10 and 5, and Glaive not far behind at 9 and 5.
Look at the camera work. Now we're inside of the camera. Beautiful. 10th round. Nice. Up at the balloons, but actually he's going to be sticking around. I would have thought he would fall back quickly once the flashes came in, but wanted to stay an extra second, and looks like a B execute this time.
Also looks like Astralis might know it's coming. Dupreeh is hustling back. They're confident. Good fight from Zip initially. Elige down very low, 9 HP, and Magisk is going to get aggressive behind it. I think Liquid might have to fall back and readdress the situation, find a new point of attack, and that's exactly what's happening. Nitro and Elige, even Naf, vacating the premises back towards playground.
That Molotov was perfectly timed. Stewie's thinking about it. Could have got his life ended right there, but instead, we'll make it past the corner. They know what Device is. They could obviously know that he's falling back to this position, or more or less. They still have some grenades, smokes, flashbangs. He's very aggressive, overly aggressive, it really feels like. Flashbang goes into the sky, can't really see much. 40 seconds left now, Liquid getting close. They desperately need this round. This is their map pick, and they're starting to fall a little bit too far behind. They take out Device, and it's still a 3-on-3, but Dupreeh, the bomb is back there. Elise has picked it up. He's going to be throwing it over to Stewie. That's a good job because he has the health for it. Is they going to be... Oh, he does take it. Naf with the defense, a takedown. Magus, that's a huge double. Otherwise, that might have been a stop bomb plant. And now Glaive, what could he do in this position? Nothing at all. Stewie will take him right out of the round. Naf with a triple. And that is a much-needed round for Liquid.
And even that was close. Liquid's not getting anything easy, which is very cool. This is a very, very focused Astralis team that's coming to this very well prepared as well. And it had to take that double kill was so difficult for Naf. He jumps in a position just the perfect time to get that, recovers well on a Magisk.
Wow.
Nitro has the op, Device has one of his own on defense. But still, Liquid has not been able to put a dent into the CT side economy. Astralis just repeatedly buying whatever they could want.
Nice trying that same trick again. Not rewarded. Good lineup, perfect lineup as Naf will drop Sip and Glaive. They've been trying for that kind of aggression for a while. It's been successful, but revisiting that did not work out for them at all. And surely this is a 90% chance to win this round now. 5 versus 3. You should have it.
I don't know, those odds don't feel right when it seems like Astralis rotates players into the perfect position. Device can actually peek through Monster and take a peek, and a double kill here would be a disaster. Here it comes, he's looking for it. Nitro as well, you can see. Looking for the feet, and he's got the tag. And now the pressure begins, but Magisk at the off angle, completely blinded. And Device must hold on.
They put out that Molotov immediately. They can continue through. He does still get the kill on Twist. 3 versus 2. Still looking good for Liquid. They still have the time. They are out of grenades. And that's a problem because without a smoke on this bomb site, Device, even at 17 health, he has a lot more room to maneuver with, and he seems very fired up at the moment. He's ready for that peak. Naf is right there. He's going to walk into the shot. Device now finding a second kill. They're putting the bomb down right in front, and no one can really stop that, but he's found a very, very cheeky hole in the floorboards here. Ready and waiting. Nitro not stepping back into it. Dupreeh up at the sniper spot now, coming in to try and help out. Can he actually get through up there? Is he going to be able to make it? So far, just shoulder peeking it out in the open. Good shot for Nitro, even if he does take a bullet to the face, and that should really be the end. There is a smoke now being picked up by Nitro, and yeah, Device is going to back out now. That's a very, very good attempt for Astralis, but Liquid will pick up the round, and that puts them back in the lead at 6-5.
They're not out of the woods just yet. This next round might be the most important of this half that we've seen. Astralis finally about to hit the limit with their money in this next buy. If Liquid takes it all for them and goes up 7-5, then they could have a very nice run down the stretch, but there's going to be plenty of weapons that Astralis can fight with, and we've seen so many looks from this defense so far. We've seen aggression in the staircase, we've seen aggression at long, we've even seen it through Monster a couple times, so if you're Liquid, it's going to be so difficult to read exactly what's coming in this all-important round 12.
Skirting at the edge, Liquid, especially economically right. This might be the most important round in this half so far. And how are they going to be playing it? Elise is the one charging through over in the suicide. They're going to be coming through the monster tunnel. And they're going to do it quickly. Sip, that's going to shut down a whole flank of the push. Maker's got close and he sprays it. Almost takes down 2. Oh, but they see Glaive. Heads up play for Naf. He was ready for that position, and that puts them in a 3-on-3. They are weirdly sandwiched in, even if they have the bomb site.
Yeah, but they're taking over the rest of it. They know there's one player. That's a great kill from Dupreeh. And they know there was a player at Sandbags. They can actually, if they want, if they're bold enough, they can evacuate to the A bomb site. Naf is doing just that, but he's got to be careful. They don't know the defense, and Xipnix has found some of the information. Device heading back up the stairs towards the other bomb site, and actually Liquid's fooled him again.
Yeah.
What a mind game this 2 versus 2 is at the moment.
Going back, Astralis slightly overthinking this situation. The bomb is going to be going down, and they're going to realize when they're so far away that helps Liquid. I mean, one thing is obviously the time to defuse, but the time to get into position. That was the other thing that they were going to have trouble with.
2 smokes, 2 flashes, and an HE grenade on the Astralis side for this retake. Team Liquid have no utility. There's no kits.
Sip putting one on the bomb. They don't really know where they are. They're flanking around. This could be absolutely brilliant. Sip has no idea. He's dead before he sees them. And now Device, last time he went for the save. This time, I mean, it might make sense to do it again. If the grenade had killed somebody, sure, it does land right on their heads, but it is not worth it. A 7th round for Team Liquid. They've got a lot of stamina, don't they, in this half? They've had to really struggle to get here.
Well, that kind of stamina, remember, that's born from 2018. That's forged from all the losses they took against Astralis in those grand finals. 2018 would have been such a good year for Team Liquid, a historic year for them, if Astralis had not been around. And if you're Team Liquid, that's exactly where you learn to have this kind of a gritty hold on a game, despite some of the struggles early on. 7-5, and outside of the AK-47, there's not a whole lot for Astralis to work with. 2 Deagles, 2 P250s, the AK-47 on Device. They've been phenomenal in these rounds, though, Astralis, so Liquid must be careful.
Yeah, I mean, you've already given up a round like this. You can't do it again. Glaive with that absolutely outrageous quad kill. Don't give them one more chance. This is Liquid's really great opportunity to power ahead in this game and almost make it impossible for Astralis to actually have any kind of half here, which is what they want.
Well, if you're Astralis, you're loving this. Device is the closest man to the point of attack. He can take first contact. Smoke clears and he backs away, sees the shadow. He's not ready for the swing. A big weapon to take away in this round, and Elige is even going to clear out Magus, but he can't win the fight. He does check for it. Magus cannot get away. And even more Astralis players, more Astralis bodies moving forward into aggressive positions in bathrooms.
Slightly dangerous. Moving up now. That P250, one close one, a little bit further away. It's an obvious kind of bait situation.
Liquid's hit pause, and they're like, well, this is where we normally get flanked. So let's everyone turn around and check one flank.
Gonna find Glaive, that's Naf. The patience is paying off right now. Dupreeh and Sip at 2-on-4. Liquid, I don't think don't read this as them being scared. This is them being thorough. This is them being careful, and you have to give them credit for it. It's necessary. They do almost line up for that deal, which in itself is sort of ridiculous. Now Dupreeh at the corner, and they're just going to triple team him. That's the way to do it. 8-5, Liquid. Now 3 rounds ahead of Astralis as this first half is coming to a close. And the Danes, I mean, they've had some economic troubles of their own now. Got a taste of that.
Well, I mean, all that goes away. 4-round losing bonus for the Astralis side of things, and now they switch into a double op setup. Flush with cash, they bring out the big guns. 1 on Glaive, 1 on Device. As you mentioned, Liquid nursing that 3-round lead. They've at least been able to build up that buffer that we talked about earlier. Liquid's been able to build up that fact that you're not going to get reset immediately after a loss.
And theoretically, slightly CT-sided map this one, so the fact that they're already winning 8 rounds Liquid, it's a pretty good sign. You could extrapolate a little bit from that and probably imagine that Liquid are feeling good about what's happening right now. Why not get to 10-5 if you can? You win this round, the money's going to be low. Dupreeh burning all the way down to 28. That in itself is not the best way to get started.
He can get spammed there as well. Elige just looking at the angle. And Device, this is so dangerous. Oh, what a great spam from Dupreeh. Somehow, and Device adds right on top of it. Double kill from the boost from the stack. And again, Liquid down 2 players.
Who needs the boost if you could just do that? Taking one down through 3-5 now. That's not a good way to get started. I mean, this is where theoretically you would have somebody like Stewie maybe turn it around.
You don't have a lot of utility though if you're Team Liquid. You don't have a whole lot of tools to provide even the smallest opening that Stewie can actually get, can sneak into.
25 seconds. They're waiting a long time. How did they do this? Now under 20 seconds, setting up the few grenades they had. Molotov trying to clear someone out. Smoke to get a bit closer to the bomb site. Sip in the corner, and he's going to shut them down. The crossfire, and then Device to take down Nitro in a 6th round for Astralis as we head into round number 15, the last of the half. The final battle here for Astralis.
I like
on
that
the CT
sign.
side.
That's a great one. Olaf, you are still a legend.
Oh, nobody could take that away from him ever.
No. 8-6. New round coming in. Final round of the first half. Liquid facing elimination, just this map away, essentially. A timeout is called, an all-important 15th round.
Yes, indeed. Now's a good time to do it. 8-6. Remember, if you haven't been following, haven't been keeping up, Inferno would be the deciding map, and we all know what that means. The amount of legendary finishes we've had with that as a 3rd map, and between these 2 teams, that seems like it's tailor-made, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely perfect, especially because, I mean, this series, I mean, both of these teams, we wax lyrically about how well they've played these past 2 years. This major has been very shaky for both of them. So for both camps, it was kind of like, listen, we really labored and struggled through the group stage. Playoffs is when we bounce back, and after that first map, it felt like it was only Astralis. Liquid showing some fight here on Overpass, aggressively through the smoke. Nap has control, and Stewie joined up with him at the B bomb site. A mistake from Glaive with the second off. He was way overexposed.
It's a good shot for Nitro to get that right off the bat. Nice. Molotov out of position, kind of thinking about whether or not he wants to put it out or just wait for it. If he puts it out, that's the immediate signal that he's there, but now he's trying to play a bit of a mind game, saying, you know what, I'm just going to pretend no one was here, and maybe somebody walks back into the shot. It could have happened, but doesn't get the reward for it. Now instead, ready with the boost down. This could be a great boost.
Well, I mean, the trouble is, since they never pushed Device back, he knows there's no one coming to this side of the map. I think he's feeling a little nervous about it and wants to back away, so he's actually called Magisk to rotate off of B. This couldn't be more perfect or more primed for Liquid to hit this bomb site.
Yeah, now it's not a good boost. Now instead Dupreeh's just up there to get knocked down as they come through the monster tunnel. They're not ready, Astralis, for this. They're not in great positions for it. They had to improvise in the middle of it. And now they come through. Dupreeh turning around. They all line up right in front. Oh no, that is a lot of damage output already. And now the panic sets in for Liquid. Headshot for Sip instead. Now it's a 2-on-2. Astralis standing their ground on the B-bomb side. And it's Elige with 6 health. I can't believe they recovered it. Sip with the triple. And Elige alone in a 1 versus 2. He takes one and all! Right through! And taking down Sip. What a clutch!
They needed it. They needed it so bad. The star player, Elige, and the conversation for the best player in the world delivers a 1 versus 2 right at the end. 9-6. We're all going to take a breather. We're going to a break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second half, second map here, and a chance to get to the semi-finals. Astralis and Team Liquid. We're on Overpass, and Team Liquid got 9 rounds on their T-side. It's their map pick. And it wasn't easy 9 rounds. They had to buckle down and give it everything. They almost ran out of money. They had a really hard time, but Astralis only got 6 rounds, and that sort of smells like it could be a third map.
I think lesser teams might have buckled in some of those early rounds. The fact that Astralis was able to do so much damage in their force buys and their ecos that they had, what a tough scenario to bounce back from, and Liquid have done it. 9-6, a decent lead. Heading into the defensive side, early nade out. Zip and Dupreeh to take over the short sewers, now up towards sandbags. Bomb is dropped far behind. It's only Nitro here though. It's only Nitro to watch for this in aggression from Stewie.
This feels like the sort of thing where Liquid have been watching demos, right? Because if it's a quick B push in this round, you're in trouble. Stewie's ready and waiting, but Device, that is a nasty peek, isn't it?
They can still recover this. Can Liquid hold their nerve? They have a 3-man stack here, a triangle stack to actually pinpoint the point of attack right outside of these danger stairs. If Magus comes out and Glaive comes towards Party, that's going to be an issue, but Elige is trying to plug the gap that Device caused by the Stewie kill. Now falling back, and here's the aggression towards stairs. Magisk is waiting. Naf now has to retreat, but it's a fighting battle.
The fact that he gets that kill means they're still in the round. If he dies, I don't think there's any recovering that now. They're making a rotation to the wrong bomb side. The bomb is headed out the other way. Dupreeh's down there listening, but he's not really hearing much either. Maybe now he is.
I think it's mostly just because Elige inside the bomb site can jump over the boxes and peek out towards long, and you'll take that. You'll say, okay, that's somewhat of an early warning system that we can get from Elige. If he's fortunate enough, he can call it out with enough time for us to rotate in position, and we'll see if that exactly happens. There's the flashbang. Now he's spotted 2. Great shot.
Call it out or just shoot them right in the face. Device goes down. It's a 3-on-3. But the Danes are on the bomb side. It's not done yet. Bomb's going to be going down with nobody there to stop it. Elige needs this shot, but Glaive, that's some great jiggle peeking with the Glock to take him out. And that's a 2-on-3 now. Nitro and Naf. How did they get out of the bank right now? All rotating into the middle. They just want this long-range fight. They're guessing that probably Liquid don't have a smoke left for this scenario. And Dupreeh, that's such a good job. Double kill to close the round. And a much-needed round for Astralis, putting 7 on the board. Both
Maps, pistol rounds are exchanged by each team.
Makes a big difference, doesn't it? That's
a chant and a half.
That's not bad.
9-7, and we'll see Team Liquid investing into this. And they've been so good in these rounds throughout their run in 2019. Astralis really gave him a good blueprint in the first half on how to play these. Elige gonna step up to the plate with the deagle.
Those flanks that were happening in the first half were really something. See what this deagle can do for Stewie. Magisk. I'm surprised he's willing to take that fight.
I was going to say, that is a very bold challenge for Magisk. It doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of victory you can find in that kind of a peak. 4 players for Astralis. Meeting up right in the courtyard, and Elige going to fall away. A couple shots, and Nitro wants the information of who's coming out of the stairs. Astralis have done a good job of at least pushing this back initially.
Yeah, that's the first part, right? But Elige is sticking around with the deagle. Had a pretty clean angle there to take someone down. Now trying for a bit of a wallbang, 50 seconds. And Glaive, I think, he's sort of intermittently checking if anyone is flanking up behind him. There's the door is gone, so it's Elige taking down Dupreeh. That's a good start. That's a step in the right direction here for Liquid. Now they're falling quite far back in towards the back of the bomb site. There's almost no grenades left for Astralis.
Yeah, this is everything, and actually they're not even going to switch up the bomb sites. They're going to go right at A where they throw the nades. Magisk with the Mac-10, spraying in through the smoke, going to try and jump in, and entry Elige is so low, he's going to try and stop the plant. That's his whole goal. Not enough damage comes out. Naf pushes through the smoke. Magisk is out of bullets. Oh, and it's crazy. It's hectic around the smokes.
Reloading as Nitro will take down Device. It's now a 2-on-4, and they need to get on that. He's out in the open, and Sip getting caught now, Glaive. They know where he is, and they're gonna hunt him down. The whole pack is coming for him, and all he has is this AK-47, and he gets absolutely wrecked. Turning around, and Stewie will be there for the defuse. A massive victory for Liquid.
And Twist even had the kit if they needed it. Now gonna upgrade a Krieg and AK-47. We just mentioned it. Liquid, phenomenal in those rounds, and they trade the favor. Astralis got started in the first half with a round just like that, and now Liquid have one as well. 10-7.
A little bit of justice being dished out by Liquid, and that has to feel quite good to them. Never ever want to let Astralis back in a game, win a pistol like that in the second half. You never know what will happen, but that is a good way to stop things. Naf setting up for the smoke down in Monster Tunnel, trying to prevent any kind of crazy B rushes, although they only have a couple of deagles and failed smoke. Fair play. Grenade would be good though. Certainly thinking about it, isn't he?
Try to find the timing, just a small amount of chip damage, but it shouldn't be a big deal. 2 deagles and 3 Glocks, all players unarmored and no utility for Astralis. So this is going to be a little slower of a round as Astralis is spread across the map looking for aggression, but shouldn't be too much of a problem for Liquid, as long as they don't fall prey to those deagles. And if they stubbed their toe and lost a round like this, as they get aggressive, as they walk right into the trap that Astralis wanted them to,
yeah, don't be giving them anything like that. Let them come. They really don't have a lot to work with. Looks like Magus is calling for somebody with a deagle to maybe go for a boost. Always fun if you can look over that wall and take someone out, but none of it is going to happen. Instead, Twist down here in the long range. He's got all of the advantage, and they're going to win the round losing nobody. Twist with a triple, or sorry, the quad kill at the end of it. And that's up to 11-7 now.
Naf and Twist at 15, Elysian Stewie tied at 11, and then on the other side it's Device and Dupreeh with 16, and Glaive and Major at 11. This game could not be much more even. First gun round coming in for Astralis. Or actually, I should say second, shouldn't I? They did lose that force buy.
Yes, they did.
Light on nades, light on utility.
It's the properly thrown smoke by Twist. Making sure it's done right. Look at Stewie. He is so far across the map with a MAC-10.
MAC-10, it's low risk, it's a lot of intel as well, and he can be very aggressive on the flank if they do eventually hit this bomb site. And Astralis this time not spread on the map. They might be dedicated to this B bomb site indeed. Glaive and Dupreeh gonna walk through Monster, possibly with just one flashbang from Zibnix, who's far, far back, but they don't even need it. They want to play contact. Now they're blind, now they need to back away. A very cool idea. And that defense was on a knife's edge, but Stewie's coming ever closer.
Big smoke towards the L bend. Trying to keep that particular spot smoked off as much as you can just to buy time. They're kind of out of grenades on the Liquid side, which is a cause for a little bit of concern. Battle between the wall, between, yeah, just shooting
Stewie's
through.
making his move. He's making his move right now, and he's going to have the information.
He has a deagle. He could one-tap somebody. He doesn't actually have to use the MAC-10. They're not looking for it in there, Stewie. Big opening, ready for the second kill, and not quite going to get it, but he might have caused enough confusion as Twist will take down Dupreeh. A double peek there behind the pillar to take down Magus, leaving it a 2-on-3, and that's looking great right now. Device, he's almost out of chance here. Gonna get the one kill, tapping away, and somehow he picks up a triple. That should never have been around, but Device bending it to his will and putting himself at 19-11. That's a huge victory.
That's a great fight to win for Device. Way too committed was Liquid in the 2-on-1. You can let him get into the bomb, so you can give him the space to have that plant. Make him feel the pressure of the time. There was 20 seconds, just about 20 seconds left on the clock. Nitro and Elige committed in positions where they couldn't actually help each other. That's a spectacular round to win if you're Astralis. Both teams going to be out of money after this bye, though, so again, another all-important round that's going to determine who controls the economy moving forward.
It's one of those scenarios where, because the last fights happen at such quick succession, it's just one to the next, nobody from Liquid has time to slow it down, and if they could get into a safe position and say, let's just hold on and wait. He hasn't even put the bomb down yet. Chill out a little bit, but it just is so quick when it's all unfolding. I think that's kind of what did it in that round. 11-8. Liquid not out of the woods yet. Down a map. Ahead on the second one. But still within grasp, still within reach here for Astralis. They can absolutely bring this back and win it. Smoke into the tunnel. Limited grenades, very limited on Liquid actually.
Might be okay if Astralis go for a hit like this. 5 players at the B bomb site, no finesse. We'll see if there's any indication. Naf jumping for the intel. Spamming as well, has to be careful with that. The timing of Stewie's smoke could be everything. Molotov in, a failed Molotov as well.
Yeah, that's, you know, might mean they're a little bit less sure if someone is going to be close to that position. The grenade, and that's right on top of Glaive. That is definitely something. Still have Nitro with that AWP on the other side. Elige is out there too. They're the only one with any grenades. So the rest of the speed defense, they have no grenades to throw.
I think Elige is going to be going for a flank. There's been no presence towards bathrooms. Elige has seen absolutely nothing pushing long.
And now Nitro's coming back, you're right.
But there's not a whole lot of nades to actually delay this hit longer. Elige might have to get on his horse right now. Good headshot, opening frag, a traded kill, a team kill, but the defense crumbles so quickly. Magisk has 4 kills, one of them a teammate, but he doesn't care. He's opened up the bomb site of Nitro, completely blinded, and it's a knockout punch delivered by the Danes.
That is a wild way to win a round. Meg is killing everything in front of him. And Elige, I mean, it is a question of timing, seconds there. If he gets around the corner quicker, if he can stop them in the tunnel, shoot them in the back, probably they're in the round. But now instead, 9-11. It is getting more and more scary right now for Liquid, surely.
They have to feel that they'll start feeling the pressure now. This is where the nerves set in. Elimination map for Liquid. Astralis closing the gap and in control of the money. Elige is going to save the M4, and that's the strongest weapon they have in the next round. So either he does something massive and heroic. It'll be interesting to see if Liquid want to invest everything they have into a buy here.
Saving one M4, I don't know. It's not even tied up yet. If they save now, build a bit of economy. What if they, I mean, that double op setup, I feel like should be something that Liquid could go to on the CT side and make a lot out of.
He's a madman.
He is slightly crazy.
All 4 kills. And again, Astralis have really simplified their attack, not spreading on the map, not caring whatsoever about bathrooms or stairs. All 5 players sticking together again. They're just grouping up and hitting bomb sites, and it's working perfectly. Nitro on a flank, but again, it's just USPs. Liquid have saved everything for a buy in round 22.
Let's make sure that M4 stays alive. You understand the temptation to get close, to look for sneaky kills. And if you have a USB, maybe that's fine. But don't want to be giving anything much away here. The damage onto Sip. Glaive getting close. They'll win it. Now, that's Twist with no armor and the M4, so...
You might want to save. Save that gun after this kill. Just back away right now. You need the money, you need the weapon in the next round. That's utility that you will not have. That's smokes, that's Molotovs, that's kits.
It doesn't really seem like it's worth it.
Those are the kind of decisions that don't feel like they have a massive consequence, but from an outside perspective, it's a little disconcerting if you're a Liquid fan looking at that and just saying there feels like there's a focus slippage.
Yeah, somebody, I mean, they could have made that call, I think, even slightly earlier. 11-10. It is by no means done at all for either team. But Liquid have this economy problem that they're going to be running into a lot. Seeing, was it Device jumping off the railing there made me think it's been a little while since we've seen that quad boost. You up for that?
I'm always up for it. Why not?
Quad boost in the quarterfinal.
I'm up for the aggression that we're seeing from Team Liquid, starting to push towards sandbags. It looks like they might even want to turn the corner. They have to get out of the way of that spam. Not too much damage taken, but again, light on utility, and it's a huge hit through Monster. They just again leading the way. How good can they do this time? Stewie falls. There's a crossfire, but Magisk is going to tear them apart over and over again. A 1 versus 3. Astralis have been ignoring this A side of the map, but that might all just be a setup for the later stages of this half.
That's the problem, isn't it? If they focus now on the B defense, how are they going to get back Elige? Can he save them? No bomb plan yet. He gets the kill. The Molotov is there in front of him, and certainly that'll slow him down ever so slightly. Now finally, Sip gonna go for the bomb plant. Elige I'm not sure. Did they call the save already, or does he want to flank all the way around? I guess.
I think he thought someone had actually escaped that bomb site and ran through CT spawn or towards that A bomb site through the halls, but he was mistaken. And now that loss of time is massive. He's got no kit.
Okay. They're in great positions. Device all the way up in that sniper spot. Remember, the bomb is planted way out in the open, so I don't know how you could possibly do this. This seems like a 1 in a million chance, and Device will take him down. He had to go out into the open. That's Astralis now tying up the scoreline at 11-11. 5 rounds away from knocking Liquid out. 5 rounds away from making it to the semi-final here in Berlin. These entries from Magus got out of control now.
It's got to be frustrating as well, because Liquid had 4 players there. They had the exact defense you could want. Maybe a little bit less on the grenades that they'd like, but the fact that they're not able to stop that. And Astralis just keeps running it. They haven't, you know, nothing's stopping them whatsoever.
3 HEs. Are they going to try and throw all of them into that pit? They will, but nobody there to catch them. Still like the idea. Now it's all on the pistol work of Liquid. And Dupreeh, overly aggressive, you might say. It does kind of work out for them, but maybe Astralis also need to calm down a little bit.
I like this from them. I like this kind of play. It's very, very confident. They're taking the fight to Liquid each and every time. And again, if it can't be stopped, why switch anything up whatsoever? Another Molotov in. Twist is going to have to be pushed forward into the flames, deeper into the fire. And Magus is just having a field day in this game, 22-15. He's got another quad kill, again at the B bomb site.
I feel like he wasn't this active in the first half.
No, but you have to feel it was just a matter of time. Remember, some of the interviews that he gave in the early stages of the Major, how he came back a week early and how he practiced even harder individually before the team came back together for the boot camp. He's been waiting for this Major.
And if somebody would have told me hard work paid off, I would have done it a long time ago, Moses. But no one told me. 12-11. American fans, they're not giving up at all. Absolutely still believing in it. They need 5 rounds, Liquid. I think the economy is just what's been so damaging to them. They finally have everything you could want, really. Save for head armor, but that should not make a big difference.
We need to see Nitro have an immediate impact with the AWP. That weapon might be the saving grace.
Yeah.
And almost, it might even be interesting to see if Liquid starts calling some kind of play where they push forward on the map and find information, because it's just been so heavy for Astralis towards the B bomb site. Liquid at some point needs to know what's coming.
Oh. That's probably the most effective I've ever seen that be.
Well, it sounded worse than it was. They just isn't going to care about 65 HP. Glaive down to 83 as well. And coming up these stairs, Nitro and Elige in the bathrooms, the longest standing duo on Team Liquid, and their task with the defense initially.
Nitro in a position where he'll see the shadow on the ground before they peek the corner, but probably not going to be just one person. Now they're going to try and run him down. There is a bit of backup there. Falling off that trash can, Elige. He almost gets the double, but that's a great victory for Astralis. They'll take that.
Oh, they'll take that all day. Very interesting setup for Team Liquid that actually backfires. Both players go down. And now what do? All 3 players from Liquid on defense have rotated over to A just in case there's a hit that follows up the early engagement, but it's not coming. Astralis with this much time in the round, patience, controlling the middle of the map, using it as a pivot point and rotating 2 players back towards B. They have Liquid completely out of position, and at some point, this just starts to feel like a gamble stack for Liquid. That's going to turn into a save, but they don't have many more rounds where they can do this. They have to start fighting for each and every one.
It's very rough when you make this kind of a call and then you hear the grenades go down at the lower bomb site and you know that there's nothing left to fight for. We just have to run and save. 13-11 as Astralis will pick up round number 24. And now it's getting uncomfortably close here for the Danish side. They're just seconds away from taking this map and taking the series. Liquid.
No, but it's also, think of it the other way as well. I mean, if they take this series, that's got to be a bit frightening to every other team still in the tournament, that Astralis able to bounce back to this degree.
You say that, but Listen, I was listening to the post-game interviews there for NRG. I don't think they give a damn about what Astralis is doing right now.
That's fair.
I really love the way NRG, their whole attitude and everything. I think it's fantastic.
Well, Liquid just 3 rounds away from elimination at the Berlin Major. This whole year has been them historic streaks. The Intel Grand Slam won in just 4 events.
Yes.
Every final since Australia, since Sydney.
They've looked unstoppable. Isn't even the word, is it? They were laughing their way through some of those games.
Well, they're not laughing anymore. Round 25 underway. Again, 4-1 for Astralis. Device over towards playground. There's 3 defenders here, but the main attack is heading towards Stewie and Twist, and it's going to be quick. It's going to be a contact play. Magisk again leading the way, but he doesn't get the fight he wanted. He backs out, and he can go right back forward again.
That kind of baits out Device.
It should be a go signal for Astralis at B.
Surely, yes. That whole part of the map is lost to you. If you have to go back and clear all of it, that's going to take a minute at least. So what did they do? So far they're sticking around, but Liquid are adjusting in a very good fashion. Magisk is creeping in, looking under the smoke. He's been the main engine of every B attack so far in this half, and Dupreeh tries to open it, but it's Magisk finally going down. Twist with the immediate return, almost getting the double. His defense, it could hold. It looks like it will. Elige will take down Dupreeh, and now they're in trouble. Glaive is a single bullet away from death, and Sip, he's still alive, which is almost universally bad news. Glaive trying to cause a bit of a distraction, firing that gun. Sip, he's completely locked in behind this pillar. How do you get out? Yeah, you need Glaive to go and find someone, but Nitro sneaking up, and he'll take him down. A great double kill, and Liquid. That was exactly the time to plug the hole, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, that was a small stumble from Astralis. We mentioned it. That had to be the go signal when Device goes down. They waited an extra 5-10 seconds.
Yep.
That entire aggressive stance for Liquid towards Picnic, it was able to fall all the way back and rotate into position, and they get there just at the right moment. A bit of respite as a timeout is called by Astralis.
Instant timeout for the Danish side. I wanted to take any risks. Keep the focus level right now. They know how close they are. Maybe that's the one thing we could say. If you're Astralis and you've made this kind of a comeback, winning 6 rounds in a row here at the middle of the second half, if it goes to a third map, you're the one that's going to be feeling like, man, we could have ended the game right there. We could already be in the semifinals.
Oh, I think these teams are way too experienced for
You think that?
I think they just wipe the slate clean and they come into Inferno and give us a banger of a game. But Liquid has to get there first. 4 more rounds for them to take this map too. 3 for Astralis to knock out Team Liquid.
Here we go. 26th round. Quick with the smoke, but too quick to make it past Glaive, checking out that side of the map. Nobody aggressive now for Liquid on that side. They're falling quite far back. They must be worried about that B-bomb side. It's been hit so many times. Seems like every time it's close.
I respect the fact, though, that Liquid heading into this round is not stacking it, because you have to also feel against Astralis, against such a tactics-heavy team, that is a bait, and Dupreeh's looking exactly for this. He just turns his attention away. Flashbang comes in, good boost. It took a little bit of time, and Stewie almost ate an up bullet for his trouble. He does find it in the end. A good advantage, but Glaive evens things up. They've been doing contact plays through Monster all day long, and it's worked all day long as well. Glaive still applying pressure, and Liquid, this defense just sinks farther and farther back. They want nothing to do with these fights. Glaive is controlling the whole bomb site, and the whole bomb site falls down. Nitro in a 1 versus 3.
Just trying his best, guessing through a little bit of a jump over. I mean, all the theatrics, but it won't matter. And you're absolutely right, those contact plays through the tunnel, that was a clean opening, a clean victory here in this round.
This was the point for Astralis. I believe it was Glaive who makes it, that they had to be, a trend for Team Liquid in the pregame interviews, saying they had to be confident. This is not a confident Liquid defense. They are sinking away from those fights when normally we see them get aggressive and trust in the individual skill. They don't have that trust in themselves at the moment.
And it's so rough on this map when you get pushed back from the initial defensive position on B. It's the fact that there are so many angles, like, actually even finding that kill on Nitro, that's huge. Orb gone. But that pillar itself, because the T's can rotate both left and right around it, if you're anywhere on the other side of it, you don't know, right? So at any point they could be peeking both sides, and that's only one of the problems. There are like 2 or 3 more other positions like that. So it looks like you're just holding one position. Oh, we've got some real aggression popping off now. Fans are taking it seriously.
Well, I'm more worried about Stewie shaking his head during this timeout. It's not looking good in a lot of different ways for Team Liquid. The fans, one last rallying call, 12-14, down by 2, heading into round 27. And this is everything. Double up setup coming out for the defense. And Anders, you finally got your wish. You mentioned at Vertigo, you wanted to see the aggressive Stewie omping. He's got one in his hands and he must deliver. I'm amazed at how well Glaive single-handedly controlled the entire situation.
He really did. They tried to fall back and escape, but he just wouldn't let them. Yes, aggressive orbing out of Stewie. Now would be the time for it. Now would absolutely be the time. There really aren't many teams or players in the world that can stop Stewie when he's hitting just the right flow. Liquid need it now. 2 rounds away from getting knocked out. Naf pushed back. Does see the chance, but now that's trouble, that's smoke. Are they going to let him get away? They're not rushing him down, and Elise is at the stairs on the other side, so Naf being remarkably calm in this situation.
Boy, he's boxed in. Glaive is waiting at the fountain to try and punish him on the retreat, but he's not taking the jump. He's going to stand and fight. This could be everything in this round. Astralis does not want to let their prey get away. Here it comes over the flames. Good kill, good trade, and now Naf. He's called upon and delivers. The first shot is his, and he sticks around even longer. There is no retreat from this fight. It must be dodge flashes and go back for more!
He's running right into Device. He's still boxed in. He turns around. That shot should get him killed. He can't get the no-scope off in time. But still, a heroic stand coming out from him as he finally does fall. Glaive close to the bomb site, but he gets shot down from Elige. And that should be enough here. 35 seconds. Device making a bit of noise, and Twist has heard that. Should be able to shoot him in the back any second now. Walks into the UMP, and Twist will win the fight. 13 on the board for Liquid. They're not done yet. They are not out of the fight.
Even salvaging the double up setup. Just 1 round back now.
That is a good factoid from Pimp, isn't it?
He also played in a professional Overwatch match. He's a bit of a freak.
He is.
Our boy Liege. Timeout for Astralis, their 3rd. Liquid is out. Everything from here on out for the Team Liquid side is done on the fly. They'll have to lean on the experience they gained this whole year of winning tournament after tournament.
That's very elaborate. That is very elaborate. That was a Liquid horse eating an Astralis plant, I believe. That was...
Joke Astralis is back. Another old meme.
Getting it all out now.
Freeze time coming to an end. We'll see how Astralis sets this up.
I mean, if you just guessed that it would be the B-bomb side they ended up in, you would be right a lot of the time. Magisk, an opening there against Nitro.
Now that is an aggressive play in a round where you don't have any money behind it. His teammates must recover in this scenario. If you fall to 13-15 and you only have pistols to fight with, it's a disaster. So Astralis, if they actually, I mean, if they're efficient enough with their hit onto the bomb site, they might get a free 15th round. Liquid might just have to call a save. That has to be in the back of their mind, that in any of those sketchy scenarios, you need the weapons in the next round.
Cruising now and playing the next round with just SMGs or maybe some upgraded pistols to try and avoid elimination. That is a real nightmare. Now they're going to be rushing through. Twist, the fire behind him, it hasn't spread to him yet. Oh, he does step back into it, and finally it spread, and he almost burns alive. He's down to 4 health, but Stewie will be there. We've talked about it a lot. That orb of his, now would be the time that he doesn't get the chance to grenade and zip on top, and Naf goes down in Liege. He can't even get into the fight. A 1 versus 4, and they will triple team him. Dupreeh will take him down, and ultimately it's Astralis now at series point. 15-13. They need a miracle, Team Liquid.
You can watch that round 100 times, and the utility usage is going to amaze you each and every time. What a disgusting execute onto the bomb site. And it's so comprehensive. Everything, every weapon is taken out of the Liquid hands, and they have scraps to fight with. 13-15, their major life on the line. With 3 SMGs, and Magisk again, looking for the aggression. Molotov, and a boost over, and Alicia has found an opening pick. Now they can back away. A creative chance to get Liquid into this round.
It's beautifully done. Anything like that, get that team fired up. Someone has to come alive. Someone is going to have to be the hero right now for them. Almost started grenades, which again is a big problem. Astralis, even if they're a man down, look at all of the utility that they can pour into a bomb site. The Leash hiding out at long right now with the M4. If he can win one fight, that would cause a big distraction.
It's not a Liege you're worried about, it's the SMGs of Liquid. It's how do these players, how does someone like Naf get into a position to have an impact, and he might have spotted the barrel there? I don't know. Flashbang is perfect. He pre-fires. He's so blind though. He's got no support. Look at Magisk as well, ducking and letting his teammates take over. Here comes a Liege. He must save the day. Good kill for him, and now holding the line, but another flashbang comes out, and both defenders are dead.
Nitro's trying to flank in. They need him right now. Something has to work out. Twist, low on health. This could be the last 3 players alive for Liquid in the tournament. And Glaive, he sees it. Oh no! He peeks away just at the wrong time. Did he not even realize? I don't know. There's Nitro with a bit of a flashbang. I think he tagged himself. And that bomb is ticking. He's stuck in this corner. Liquid trying for the retake. Twist will get one. It's all on this. A 2-on-2. The last couple of seconds left. A flashbang to try and buy some more time. They don't have a kit right now. I don't see how they can get this defused. There's Device, and there's Astralis. 16-13. They take down Team Liquid, and they're going to be in the semifinals.
They lived up to it. Look at the energy out of Astralis. This was the demon they wanted to get off their back in the quarterfinals. They came in so prepared. A surprise pick that destroyed Liquid on Vertigo. And another clinical overpass performance delivered by the Danes. And it's a shocking defeat for a team who has had an otherwise stellar 2019. And all the losses last year, I don't think any of them hurt as much as this will.
I would have to agree with that. The legendary story between these two teams just continues. This absolutely won't be the last time we'll let them see this kind of a battle between them. It was close, it was real close. Think of some of the rounds that they ended up winning. Glaive had that one on the B-bomb side. He had the one with the Deagle where he took down 4 players. That is the margin. That's the difference right now between one or the other team winning.
Yeah, and I'm just astounded at the level of both of these teams coming out of that break between the 2 different segments of the Major, and Astralis just looking unbelievably good. And Energy probably not going to be scared. And obviously, Stanislav, some big words today on stage that we all love to see, but that is a very dangerous Astralis team that is going to be very, very difficult to beat. We obviously were ready with Stunna and the victors down on the stage.
The victors they are, Jason, you pretty much nailed that one right on the head here. These guys, having beat them out 2-0, Liquid have fallen. We're talking about Grand Slam winners, major winners, and now you play this best of 3. How important was this best of 3 to you?
It was really important. It's the fact that Liquid has all...
A lot of Astralis fans in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of Astralis fans in the house. You beat Liquid here. You've said they are the #1 team. You've said that as a unit. How does it feel now? Can you go back?
The one thing that I wish for was denying Liquid winning a major, we just did. So obviously I'm really happy about that. We want to reclaim the best, being the best team in the world. Obviously they have had a really good year and they deserve everything they've won so far. But it feels like we're starting to find our groove, and I just hope that we will continue grinding from here on.
Well, now listen, you have to go through what is going to be NRG. They have been red hot. Are you guys ready for that? Zonic, are you ready for that?
Of course.
Because they said they didn't care who they played.
Well, we lost the first time against them, but this time we need to teach them a lesson.
Teach them a lesson? Holy shit. All right, let's do just that. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Astralis! James on the sidelines.
Yes. Well, we are here with all of the Astralis fans once again. I have a Danish flag all the way behind me, and these guys are loud yelling for your current champions. They managed to take down Liquid. The question is, can they go all the way for the major? I've got a very excited fan here jumping up and down with me. How much does this win mean to you guys?
It's everything!
Okay, I think that pretty much tells us how it goes. These guys are pumped up, these guys are excited, and the Danes seem to be back. Alex, what do you make of that, mate? I've got no idea what's going on. Let's give it a go. Smix, take it away.
Twist. I know that no one's expectations were higher than the ones that you guys set for yourselves. I can't imagine how much more painful this loss is because of that. As much as you feel comfortable sharing, can you tell us what's going through your mind right now?
So during the break, or after the break, when we started practicing again, we noticed that our practice wasn't going that well, and that's just the way things were going to be. And we don't want to put too much pressure on ourselves to actually perform that amazing at the major. I mean, obviously we tried our best, and there's obviously a lot more things that we could have done. But I mean, props to them. They kind of tricked us in the veto by picking Vertigo. But yeah, obviously it does hurt. But I think this still puts us as #1 team. It just matters how we come back after this event.
The scoreline was 2-0, but it was so close despite that. Walk us through what you feel happened.
I think the story of this major for us was being up a lot and then having kind of like a reminiscence of the old Liquid where we would lose our advantage. And I think that was kind of the story for us the entire major.
The road for Liquid might be over at this major, but 2019, there's so much more to come from you guys. We all know it. One last word for your fans.
Sorry that you're not going to be watching us in the final. I mean, at least you guys saw us in one good match at the major. And whoever's going to New York, I swear we're going to win that one.
Give it up one last time. Twist, everyone.
Fantastic words from Twist there, also throwing down the gauntlet, saying see you in New York. Well, Berlin not over for Astralis. An incredible 2-0 versus Team Liquid. Astralis, a team whose previous wins, what was it, like crazy Dream Eaters? Well, taking down Liquid is quite the scalp to take an acceleration in people's expectations. I'm joined by Chad Sponge Birchall, Duncan Thorin Shields, and Sean Gers. I mean, Sean, I'll let you open us up because you had hot expectations for Overpass.
Yeah, down 9-6 at half. Win the pistol, then get force bought on by like the standard Liquid force buy, right? 10-7 at that point.
No one wins that game after that,
ball
Sean.
is in Liquid's court at that point, right?
No one
Everyone
wins that game.
thinks Liquid's closing out that game, but the B executes out of Astralis were brutal. Those B players on Liquid were blind every single round. The utility at the barrels. This was just vintage Astralis, in my opinion.
Somewhere in Counter-Strike heaven, because he's obviously not in this tournament anymore, Carrigan is looking and he's just smiling, because this used to be what he made this team great on Overpass doing. Yeah. It was you do those B attacks, and if you do them perfectly, they can't be stopped.
They're choking. You just saw how every Liquid perspective you chuck to, there's flashes, there's Molotovs, there's smokes. You can't find a line of sight.
And they were tripping over each other. There was multiple occasions where there were several players around barrels. They were stuck on the ramp. They were stuck behind the
Flashing
pillar.
each other.
They couldn't peak together. They were constantly harassed. And then when they're getting walked in on, Magus walking in and just entering on them time and time again. Glaive doing the same thing. Look, I want to stick on Glaive for a second. Yeah. That 4K that he had in the first half, that gave them a chance in the first half. If he didn't do that, they may have been blown out of the water.
And then the device 1-on-3 in the second half.
That was a
they
monster.
had some unreal individual plays. I mean, we always praise Astralis for their utility usage, their teamwork. Sure. But we always forget, these guys can brawl. Like, if Liquid wants to have an A map, Astralis can hang.
And by the way, in case anyone hadn't followed 2018, one of the best CT players in the world is Magus, boy. This guy, I think he was on like 100 plus ADR when we were deep into the second half. Again, the idea that the Astralis players would outfrag, outperform the Team Liquid, that was never the win condition. And again, as you said it right there, they beat Crazy. As I said, the biggest ranked win was against NIP. They haven't shown us anything like this since April. So this is a new lease of life for Astralis. This is. I won't say it's back to their best, but it was very, very good.
Zonic in his interview, he said, we're just looking to get started again. Well, I think we can safely say that Astralis has got the machine up and running.
How hilarious is it that Dupreeh doesn't talk about winning the major? He just wanted to beat Liquid.
Deny them a major.
Not even beat them. Yeah, exactly.
Just deny them a major.
He didn't even say anything about wanting to win the major. That was their one goal. That's
denying Liquid's made. I mean, that's a rivalry. That is a straight-up El Clasico established.
Look, this is what we've been missing in Counter-Strike for a long time. We've had some very sketchy periods. You know, we've had some periods where it's a brawl ECS or anybody can win. But now that we have these two teams playing that high-level Counter-Strike, sure, Liquid, they didn't show up at this time, right? But there's no reason that they can't bounce back from this point. Twist just there in an exit interview, there's some of the hardest things that you could possibly do. But he had a lot of poise right there. And the fact he's willing to just throw down the gauntlet for the next event they're going to, that shows they're still focused at getting back on that horse.
We also know behind the scenes that they had some troubles in that boot camp, right? People were sick, like this and that. He didn't bring up any of those excuses, right? He just took it on the chin and he said, we're winning New York.
Yeah, and Twist, you know, he said that. We saw previous sentiment from Nafly in an interview ahead of the major, just saying that practice has got us feeling whack, you know, out of whack, I think would be a less American way to say it.
Just on the side of Liquid, they're the positives that we saw, especially in that first half. It started to look like the Liquid we know. Alish saved them in that early stage where it was very brawly, right? He had some amazing multi-kills. That clutch as well to close it out. But he gave Naf an opportunity to get into the game. It looked early when they could establish that, hey, Liquid's doing their normal A default. They were pushing B to harass Naf. That's pretty standard. They got a kill early, but then they didn't get him again. He played very strong from that position. He got a lot of multi-kills, and he also bailed them out when they pushed into the site, the B-bomb site late. So props to them for, you know, getting some of those rounds on the board, but that's got to be a heartbreaking loss.
If you can win 9 out of 13 remaining rounds on T-side Overpass against Team Liquid, you deserve to win the match. You probably deserve to win the major. That is unbelievable. No matter what you say about the level of Team Liquid, like you saw there, they weren't going away. It's like they just rolled over. They were still getting kills. They still believed they could probably do it towards the end. Some big kills from Naf. I think we have to put him forwards as well, but the Astralis guys, what a T-half.
Yeah, and you said, you know, there is a potential for no Danes and no Swedes in that semi-finals. Well, Astralis makes sure that that is not the case. What are your closing thoughts on the day and looking forward to tomorrow as well, Sean? We've got some spicy semis.
Oh, the rematch between NRG and Astralis. Obviously, we had that 5 OT game. The youngsters of NRG, can they keep their composure against Astralis? I think that game obviously is the one to look out for, right? And then we have Renegades against Avangard. Yeah, those are Chad's boys. He predicted them to win the major.
Look, it couldn't get these two teams for Avangard and Renegades. They couldn't ask for an easier opponent against each other, right? That goes both ways. Having a favorite in that game, who knows? Avangard have already beaten Renegades. They did it on Vertigo in an earlier stage of this tournament. So if you're going to go off form, you would say that Avangard are coming in as the favorite.
And you just said Vertigo, and it feels stupid not to at least hear an analyst's thoughts on it. Twist has acknowledged that they were caught off by that Vertigo in the vetoes, Sean.
Yeah, I think we were all caught off guard,
What a genius veto.
Yeah, I mean, it was a brilliant play by Astralis. No one really saw that coming. No one really thought that they would, you know, concede
have the audacity.
Yeah, especially given the fact that, you know, their map pools are so similar. We thought maybe an Inferno pick or that was a ballsy pick, and it worked out.
All right, well, we could keep talking about this all day, but you know what? People have got houses to go to, and we'll leave you here. Mercedes-Benz Arena, however, does continue tomorrow. From all of us here at the desk and all of us here in the arena, we hope to see you for the semi-finals.